So these bad boys, as probably you know, are the Air Force 2s. They are a pair from 1987. So they're pretty old and pretty high. And yeah, they are known now as the Air Force 2s, but when these first came out, they were actually just called the Air Force Highs, I believe. So they were known as the Air Force High. They were the second coming in the line of the Air Force, succeeding the Air Force One. Yeah, this is just the kind of the classic white and red colorway here. These are in pretty good condition for their age. They are, yeah, they're holding up well. There's some chipping of the plastic in some areas, and there's some softening of the outsole from the breakdown of the inner air bags, but overall pretty good condition. Softening of the outsole, I mean, like, you can feel when the airbag inside breaks down, dries up, disintegrates or whatever. You can feel that this is just like kind of soft instead of that, would be normally like a hard rubber feel, but not bad. And you can feel kind of the air. You can push in here and you can feel it's a little softer because there's no more air in that bag. But yeah, so I'll give you guys kind of a close-up of the shoe. I'm filming with the GoPro this time, so still getting kind of used to this new mode. Got Nike Air Force on the tongue. And there is some of the drying of the plastic, and so you get it chipping away, kind of falling apart. But yeah, super good leather on these. This is what standard Nike leather used to be. All these years later, still very soft and definitely a thick cut. Some cow leather. This leather is cheaper. This is like a very thin, hard, definitely like maybe even synthetic. Kind of what you find on like Nikes, a lot of Nikes nowadays, the cheaper end ones, just like a hard synthetic, but the stuff behind it is real nice, the layers. And then you have these loose lace eyelets, these plastic ones, similar to the Jordan 3 that was probably being designed around the time these came out. But quite a step up from the Air Force One in terms of basketball performance. You can see that the shoe has just got so much more dimension to it with all the layers. You got your toe cap, your toe box, then you got these side kind of panels of leather like the Jordan 1s. Give you a little more support around that kind of toe, so it's not like sliding over the midsole too much. And then, more layers here. You got perforated holes for breathability, and then these plastic pieces right here to kind of secure the upper foot. Then back here you got painted leather or painted foam, some sort of foam padding that's chipping away because the paint has dried up over the years. So another sign of wear, but underneath the laces you can't really see it. It's kind of like tubing almost, which is kind of nice, so it gives you a little more like flexibility. But yeah, original laces too. I'm not sure what it looks like in the camera, but they are yellowed, like much more than the leather. But they just feel so much more substantial than laces nowadays. Like I took them off, to see if I could wash them a little bit, and they were just like thick, thick, big laces. And what was actually interesting with the laces, I was washing them, and then I was washing some other laces too, some more modern laces, and I went to dry them, just like hang them, hang them over a chair so they, kind of get the wrinkles out a little bit, so that they're all long and stretched out, and they got the wrinkles out so much better than modern laces. I think just because they're thicker and the weight maybe from hanging, they you can't see many wrinkles or creases in them at all. And these things were, when I first bought these were kind of beaters. They were like tied super tight, all the way up, and they were just kind of trashed. And I pulled the laces out, and they had a bunch of their lines in them from creasing, just being in that position for so long. But yeah, they did really well, and the other laces actually didn't improve so much. So I was pretty pleased with that. But yeah, let me turn this back on so I can see. I don't know why this GoPro thing turns off. There it is. So got probably a scuff mark here, probably from when somebody was hooping in these back in the day. That wouldn't come out. The leather did clean up pretty nice. It did, had to be careful because when it got a little too wet, it started to kind of chip away a little bit, but pretty nice outsole. Didn't try to clean the outsoles, probably will eventually. That nice Nike right there. One thing that I was shocked when I got these in, when I first got them, was so they're size 12, so it's a pretty good size compared to, I think the average is like 11 or 10 and a half or something. But so they're big, but you look back here and man, this is so narrow compared to shoes nowadays. Like I'm always a size 12, between 12 and 13, and this looks like it's like a size 10 and a half or something, like width back here. It's super narrow, and it's the cup too, so it's really, people, I have a pretty narrow heel, so I could probably fit into this well, but a lot of people with size, the bigger feet, they have big heel back there, and it seems like it would be tough. So I don't know. Nike was I know, all Nikes were much more narrow back in the day, but I didn't think it was going to be that narrow. I don't know if you guys can tell. I should have brought another pair of shoes to compare it with, but I just have old shoes here. Here's some Flight Lights. These are also size 12, but they're also old school, so they have I don't know if you can see. They definitely are much more narrow. So yeah, that was interesting to see, the heel cup and this part back here, very narrow. And then getting up here, it's even more narrow, which is compared to the shape of the shoe or length of the shoe. Happy to see these are, not cracked, still going strong. This is feels like a rubber, feels like a toy almost, something like a rubber toy, but a little bit of a spring to give your ankle, your Achilles, some flexibility, and just great quality. The whole thing had to be stitched in above the heel cup, and it's just it's just done perfectly. I'm sure these things were beautiful when they first came out. People seeing this kind of stuff was probably pretty crazy, because this was kind of around the time when Nike really started to take off, and more than just running shoes, and basketball shoes really evolved late 80s. You just had so much more going on compared to what they were before. But Yeah, the inside, definitely a very padded, soft padding. Back here is, kind of hardened over the years. I'm sure this was like softer back in the day, but yeah, you can kind of see how narrow they are from that angle. Try to get some different angles in here. Pretty fragile here though. This stuff is, cracking apart. Wish I could still wear this. I'm sure it would probably hold up for a little bit. Well, I don't know about that. I actually think this plastic, a lot of the times with these old ones you see, this heel cup is usually destroyed, cracking apart and whatnot. I'm surprised it wasn't, like I said, when I bought these, the pictures looked, I kind of got a good deal for them because the pictures just looked real bad. They looked like they were beat, some old beaters. The guy didn't take any time to doll them up or anything. He just had them tied super tight and they were all like bent upwards. But, I saw the outsole and I saw when looking that there was still a lot of stars and it didn't seem like a lot of wear on the outsole and the heel too. So I was thinking, I didn't see a lot of scuffs. It just looked like mainly dirt and creasing, and it's always a good sign to potentially be able to restore them. So happy I picked them up. I had them for a few months now, so they're still pretty new, but yeah, I don't have the original box, and yeah, they actually did not come with original insoles either. They were taken out, so don't expect I will be finding any of those anytime soon, but glad to have these in the collection. Fortunate to have some of these old school Nikes, especially around this time when this kind of old school Nike look is just so popular. With the Jordan 1, people really love the old, Nike swoosh high top, simple high tops from back in the day. So, yeah, I think that's a good look at the shoe. One last close up of some of the stuff. Hope you guys liked the video of the Air Force 2, originally known as the Air Force High. I did want to mention the retros of these are just so different. I think probably one of the most different retros. I'll probably post I'll post a retro, what the retros look like compared to the originals, but they're just such a stubby toe box. And that's why I always avoided the Air Force 2, because they had such a thick area back here, and then you had practically no toe box, and it just was shaped much differently. But these, you notice you have this, how it connects right here. The toe box upper is aligned with the midsole. It's all one nice, so it gives it that nice kind of silhouette, even, worn so much. You look at the retros and it's like the toe box midsole is protruding out, and then the actual toe box upper is further back, and then you have just real short, and it just looks real bulky. I don't know why they do that. It's more of the lifestyle fit. They give this original performance fit is much more long and low profile. It just looks so much better though. I wish they would bring some OG styles back like that, but yeah, I might be able to post a picture where the retros, it has just a very different look. You can see it's stubbier and bulkier and very different. I always had seen just images of those and in person at the store, and that's what I thought the Air Force 2 looked like. Until I got the originals, I was like, man, this is actually a very, old school high top looking, basketball shoe. Much more similar to the slimmer Air Jordan 1s, which are, look pretty good with that kind of lower profile slim look. But back in the day, these were the hot basketball shoes when they came out. You know, a lot of high school teams, you'd have the whole team wearing, like, you know, if they had enough money, they'd be all wearing the same shoes and the color. You know, they came out with a lot of team colors if high schools were fortunate to have that option. And you know, you'd see the whole team like rocking this same shoe, and it was a lot of times it was the Air Force 2. I think it went on for a couple of years, like, you know, 87, 88, you know, these were definitely the main basketball shoe, it seemed like, just looking at old pictures. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, not kind of an underappreciated shoe nowadays. Not many people are really craving the Air Force 2. You know, it's kind of forgotten. And I think a lot of that is the way they make the damn retro shape. You know, it just kills the look. It looks really bulky and it doesn't have that slim, old school look to it. But whatever. Maybe at some point they'll do it again. But all right. Well, thank you guys for checking out the video. Air Force 2 high. I'm posting more soon, so check those out, and hope you guys have a nice day.